So many people are sitting on their dreams, not because they can't do it, but because they are waiting for somebody to tap them on the shoulder and say, now is your time. Let me tell you, nobody is coming with that tap. If you keep waiting for the perfect sign, you are going to grow old with a pocket full of regrets. The world doesn't hand out slips of approval. It only respects those who move without asking. Think about it. Every great breakthrough, every invention, every business, every success story you admire, none of those people were given permission. They decided, they stepped out, they acted without waiting for applause. And the truth is, that decision alone is what separates dreamers from doers. When you stop waiting for permission, you take back your power. You stop needing validation from people who can't even see your vision. You stop asking for, is it okay? And start saying, this is what I'm going to do. The moment you move like that, the world starts to notice. If you keep asking for permission, you are silently telling yourself you don't believe in your own ability. And if you don't believe in yourself, how can anybody else? Your confidence starts with self-authorization. If you don't give yourself the green light, nobody else will. Waiting for people's approval will keep you broke, tired, and stuck. And let's be honest, half the people you are waiting on are struggling themselves. They don't know how to validate you because they don't even know how to validate their own lives. Stop looking for answers in the wrong places. You want to change your life? Start moving like your life already belongs to you. Walk with boldness. Step into the unknown without waiting for someone to clear the path. The door doesn't open until you walk up to it and try the handle. The day you stop waiting for permission is the day you start living, the minute you take the first. The step without a cheerleader in the background, you realize you don't need one. You will look back and wonder why you wasted so much time waiting on people who were never meant to lead your journey. Some people think once they graduate, the learning is done. That's the biggest lie you can ever believe. Education doesn't stop when school ends. It begins when life starts throwing challenges at you. The world is constantly changing, and if you are not growing, you are falling behind. Investing in yourself means picking up books, attending seminars, watching tutorials, listening to podcasts, and surrounding yourself with people who know more than you. It means admitting you don't know it all and humbling yourself enough to learn. You can't change your life if you think you have already mastered everything. Every successful person I've ever seen has one thing in common. They are students for life. They don't stop learning because they understand knowledge is currency. You can lose a job, you can lose money, you can lose possessions, but if you know, you can rebuild. Knowledge makes you dangerous in the right way. When you refuse to keep learning, you are putting a ceiling on your life. And the ceiling isn't the world, it's you. Life will only give back to you what you are prepared for. If you are not filling yourself with new information, don't expect new results. Stagnation is the enemy of transformation. Sometimes you have to unlearn just as much as you have to learn. Unlearn the lies you were told growing up. Unlearn the belief that you can't be more. Unlearn the limits people placed on you. Then replace those things with truth, strategy, and vision. That's what investing in education does. And here's the truth. Education doesn't always mean school. It could mean paying for a mentor, investing in a course, or even failing at something and taking the lesson. Education is eat. Very well, only the hungry see it. The more you learn, the more you expand. And when you expand, you attract bigger opportunities. Doors open because you have prepared yourself with knowledge. Education is not an expense. It's the greatest investment that multiplies for a lifetime. You can't invest in your future if you neglect the body that carries you there. Too many people pray for success while destroying the very engine that will take them there. You can't run a marathon on broken legs, and you can't live a purposeful life in a body you abuse daily. Your health is the first and most important business you will ever run. When your body is weak, your dreams suffer. When your energy is gone, your creativity dries up. When you are exhausted and unhealthy, even opportunities look like burdens. Investing in your health is not about looking good. It's about living long enough and strong enough to walk into your destiny. Take care of your body like it's your first home, because it is. Move it daily, fuel it properly, and rest it when it needs rest. Don't wait for sickness to remind you how valuable health is. By the time you are sitting in a hospital bed, you will wish you had invested earlier. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the health to enjoy it, it's worthless. What's the point of building wealth if you are too sick to spend it? What's the point of chasing goals if your body breaks down before you reach them? Health doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. Start with small steps. Drink more water, walk more, eat better, and sleep better. Over time, these small investments compound into a body that can handle the pressure of success. Stop saying you don't have time to work out or eat right. The truth is, if you don't make time for your health now, you will be forced to make time for your illness later. And that cost will be much higher than any gym membership or healthy meal. Your mind and spirit thrive when your body is taken care of. Health is not separate from success. It's the foundation of it. When you feel better, you think better. When you think better, you make better moves. Your health is not optional. It's the greatest wealth you can own. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever own. And the crazy part is, it's the one thing you can't get back. Once a minute is gone forever. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But once time is wasted, it's gone. That's why learning to manage your time is one of the most powerful investments you can make in yourself. If you don't control your hours will control you. Most people don't fail because they don't have potential. They fail because they waste time. Think about how many hours are lost scrolling, gossiping, complaining, or doing things that don't move the needle forward. That's how years pass by and nothing changes. If you are not intentional with your time, life will slip right through your fingers while you are busy being busy. Managing time isn't about being strict. It's about being strategic. Look at your day and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now helping me get closer to where I want to be? If the answer is no, then you are investing your time in the wrong place. Too many people think success is about talent, when in reality, success is about priorities. The way you spend your time is proof of what matters to you. If you want to change your life, you have to change what gets your hours. Time management also means learning how to cut out distractions. Every text, every notification, every unnecessary conversation is stealing from your goals. You can't complain about not having enough time while you spend 4 hours watching shows, scrolling, or sleeping longer than you need to. Discipline with your time builds discipline in your life. The small sacrifices add up to major results. And don't get it twisted. Rest is important, but rest is not laziness. Rest is recharging with purpose. Laziness is wasting energy doing nothing that matters. You need rest to refuel, but you also need structure to ensure your rest isn't turning into wasted days. Too many people confuse downtime with dead time. Learn the difference. When you manage your time, you also manage your opportunities. Life doesn't always give you a second chance. And sometimes the only difference between making it and missing it is how you used your hours. Time management positions you to be ready when the door opens. It makes you sharp, prepared, and reliable, not just to others, but to yourself. The truth is, everybody gets 24 hours in a day, but not everybody uses them the same. Some people waste them, some people spend them, and some people invest them. The people who change their lives are the ones who treat every hour like it's precious. Your schedule is your map, and if you don't direct your time with intention, you will always end up somewhere you never planned to be. Opportunities don't fall into your lap just because you want them. They come to people who are prepared, and preparation comes from building skills. If you are waiting for someone to hand you success without sharpening what you bring to the table, you will be waiting forever. Skills are the proof that you can deliver. They are the currency that makes you valuable in any room. The more skills you stack, the more doors you can open. The reason so many people stay stuck is that they only depend on what they already know. They get comfortable with one ability and never stretch themselves further. But the world is constantly evolving, and if you are not evolving with it, you become replaceable. Building new skills keeps you relevant, and relevance keeps you in demand. If you want to get paid differently, you have to learn differently. Think about it like this. Talent might get you noticed, but skills keep you in the room. Anybody can have raw talent, but skills are what prove you have put in the time, the discipline, the effort to refine yourself. Talent might open one door, but skills make sure you don't get kicked back out. That's the difference between temporary opportunities and lasting success. Building skills doesn't always mean formal training. It can mean teaching yourself, practicing in silence, and staying consistent even when nobody's watching. We live in a world where almost anything can be learned for free or for cheap. YouTube, books, podcasts, mentors, courses, it's all there. The question is, are you hungry enough to use it, or are you waiting for life to hand feed you? When you build skills that pay you, you create freedom. Freedom from depending on others, freedom from begging for opportunities, freedom from settling for less than you are worth. A skill is something nobody can take away from you. Even if you lose everything, the skills you have built allow you to rebuild again. That's why the smartest investment you will ever make is in learning something that adds value to you and others. Not every skill pays you money immediately, but every skill pays you eventually. Communication skills, discipline, problem solving, creativity, leadership. These might not bring instant cash, but they position you for opportunities that will. Stop looking for quick rewards and start looking at long-term returns. Skills grow in value over time, just like investments do. If you want to change your life, stop waiting for someone to give you a shot and build yourself into the person that can't be ignored. When you walk into a room with undeniable skills, the conversation shifts. People stop asking if you are qualified. They start asking how much it's going to cost to work with you. Skills don't just get you jobs, they build empires. And the best part is you get to choose which ones to master. The people you spend time with are either pulling you up or dragging you down. There's no in between. An elevator takes you higher, but an anchor holds you in one place, or worse, drags you deeper. Look around at your circle and ask yourself, are these people pushing me forward or keeping me stuck? Because who you walk with will always determine how far you go. Too many people stay tied to anchors out of comfort, loyalty, or fear of being alone. But the truth is, if your environment is filled with negativity, laziness, or small-minded thinking, you are being poisoned without even realizing it. Anchors don't always look like enemies. Sometimes they are friends, family, or co-workers who simply don't share your vision. If you don't recognize it, their weight will become your reality. Elevators, on the other hand, challenge you. They make you uncomfortable because they refuse to let you settle. They don't clap for excuses, they call you out. They inspire you by their actions, not just their words. Being around people who are ahead of you will stretch you in ways you didn't know were possible. You will see their growth and realize you have been playing too small. When you spend time with elevators, their habits start to rub off on you. You pick up their mindset, their drive, their focus. It's impossible to stay stagnant when your circle is moving. That's why some people level up so fast. It's not just because of what they do, it's because of who they are doing life with. Anchors will always try to convince you that you don't need more, that where you are is enough, that your dreams are too big. They will laugh at your goals, remind you of your failures, and highlight every reason you can't win. Not because you can't, but because they won't. And instead of admitting their own fear, they'd rather keep you down so they don't feel left behind. The truth is, cutting off anchors isn't always easy. It may mean spending less time with people you love or walking away from environments you have known for years. But if it costs you your future, it's too expensive to keep. You don't owe anybody your potential, but you owe yourself the chance to see how far you can rise. When you surround yourself with elevators, your perspective changes. Suddenly, the impossible doesn't seem so impossible anymore because you are watching others do it. You start thinking bigger, moving faster, and believing deeper. That's the power of proximity. Being around the right people lifts you without you even realizing it. Discipline is the bridge between wanting a better life and actually building one. Everybody wants success, but very few are willing to do the work consistently. Motivation feels good, but it fades. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It demands action, whether you are excited or exhausted. Without discipline, your goals are nothing more than wishes floating in the air. Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never came? That's not because you are lazy. It's because you haven't built discipline. Discipline is that inner voice that says, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's waking up when you'd rather sleep, studying when you'd rather watch TV, working out when you'd rather sit. That's the difference between average and exceptional. The truth is, discipline doesn't come naturally to anyone. It's trained. Just like a muscle, it grows when you exercise it daily. Start small. Commit to 10 minutes of something productive every day. Over time, that 10 minutes becomes a habit, then an hour, then a lifestyle. People think discipline means doing huge things, but it's really about mastering the small, consistent actions that compound into greatness. Discipline is also about saying no. No to distractions, no to excuses, no to shortcuts. Every yes to nonsense is a no to progress. Every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken your foundation. But when you honor your commitments, even the small ones, you build trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, nothing can shake you. People often mistake discipline for punishment, but it's actually freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from wasted time, freedom from living beneath your potential. When you discipline yourself today, you are giving your future self the gift of options. The person who sacrifices comfort now enjoys opportunities later. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You need to be disciplined every day. Inspiration may spark you, but discipline keeps the fire burning long after the excitement is gone. That's why the people who win aren't always the most talented. They are the most disciplined. They do what others won't so they can live how others can't. Developing discipline is about deciding who you want to obey and aligning your daily actions with that decision. It's not glamorous, it's not always fun, and it's not instant. But it's the one thing that guarantees progress, because no matter how slow it feels, discipline ensures that every day you are moving closer to the life you have been dreaming about. Your words are seeds, and every day you are planting something into your own future. The problem is too many people water their lives with negativity. They tell themselves, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'll never get out of this situation. And then they wonder why nothing changes. What you speak consistently is what you start to believe, and what you believe is what you live out. If all you feed your mind is doubt, then all you will harvest is defeat. You can't keep calling yourself broke and expect to walk into wealth. You can't keep saying you are stuck and expect to move forward. You can't keep speaking of failure and expect success. The words you say to yourself carry power, whether you realize it or not. The same tongue that complains about problems can also declare solutions. The same mouth that curses your future can also bless it. The choice is yours every single day. When you speak life into yourself, you start reprogramming the way you see the world. Instead of saying, this is impossible, you start saying, I'm going to find a way. Instead of saying, I don't deserve it, you start saying, I was made for more. Those shifts may sound small, but they are life-changing. Your brain believes what you repeat, and your actions will always follow your beliefs. There will always be enough people around you ready to tear you down, so don't let your own voice join their choir. If everybody else says you can't, your job is to remind yourself you can. If everybody else says you are not good enough, your job is to remind yourself that you are capable of out. If everybody else doubts your potential, your job is to speak so much life into yourself that their doubt can't drown out your faith. You have got to learn how to be your own encourager, because some days nobody else will be there to clap for you. Some days you will wake up with nothing but your own voice to carry you through. That's why affirmations, declarations, and speaking positive truth over your life are not cheesy. They are necessary. They are the fuel that keeps you running when your tank feels empty. Speaking life doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to see possibility despite reality. You might be struggling financially right now, but instead of saying, I'm broke, say, I'm building wealth. You might be lonely right now, but instead of saying, nobody wants me, say, the right people are on their way. You might be tired right now, but instead of saying, I can't go on, say, I'm stronger than I feel. Every word you say is a brick, and brick by brick, you are building the house you will live in. If you don't like the life you see, check the words you have been speaking. Your tongue is shaping your tomorrow, whether you notice it or not. The greatest investment you can make in yourself is to stop tearing yourself down with your own mouth and start building yourself up with your words. Pain is something nobody escapes in life. We've all been hurt, betrayed, rejected, or broken at some point. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise is what they do with that pain. Some people let pain destroy them, while others let pain build them. Pain is raw energy. And if you learn how to channel it, that same energy can fuel your greatest breakthroughs. Every scar you carry is not just a reminder of what you went through. It's proof that you survived. You didn't crumble, you didn't quit, you didn't disappear. You are still here. That means the pain didn't win. And as long as you are breathing, you can flip that pain into power. The situation may have been meant to EQ, but it can also shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and tougher than before. Think about some of the strongest people you have ever met. Most of them didn't get strong because life was easy. They got strong because life was hard. They learned how to take disappointment and turn it into determination. They learned how to take heartbreak and turn it into resilience. They learned how to take failure and turn it into a strategy. Their pain became the very fuel that carried them further. If you use your pain the wrong way, it becomes an anchor. It keeps you bitter, angry, stuck in the same story over and over again. But if you use your pain the right way, it becomes a teacher. It forces you to grow, to see yourself differently, to fight harder, to dig deeper. Pain is life's way of stretching you beyond what you thought you could handle. You can't run from pain, but you can decide what it means. That heartbreak you went through, let it teach you your worth. That failure that embarrassed you, let it show you where to improve. That struggle you are in right now, let it remind you that you are tougher than circumstances. If you choose to see pain as purpose, it stops being something that broke you and starts being something that built you. Some of the greatest success stories you will ever hear were born out of pain. People who grew up with nothing and used the struggle to fuel their hunger. People who were laughed at and used rejection to sharpen their focus. People who were counted out used it as motivation to prove the world wrong. Their pain gave them a reason to fight when comfort would have made them quit. Your pain is not a waste. It's not random. It's not meaningless. It's raw material that you can use to build your strength, your wisdom, your fire. If you stop running from it and start using it, you will realize that the very thing you thought was going to destroy you is the thing that equips you for the life you have been dreaming about. There's something powerful about betting on yourself when nobody else will. Too many people are sitting around waiting for somebody to hand them an opportunity, waiting for a green light, waiting for approval. But let me tell you the truth. You are the green light. You are the opportunity. You are the one who has to make that move, even when it feels uncertain. Playing it safe keeps you stuck. Playing it bold gives you a chance to win. The problem is that most people are more afraid of failing than they are of staying broke, stuck, or average. But if you want something different in life, you are going to have to take risks on yourself. Think about it. Every major change, every breakthrough, every success story came from somebody who decided to take a risk. They didn't know if it would work. They didn't know if it would pay off. They didn't know if people would support them, but they did it anyway. You have got to be willing to step into the unknown, because staying in the comfort zone has never created greatness. You want that business? Take the risk. You want that dream career? Take the risk. You want to change your life? Take the risk. Nothing is guaranteed, but I can guarantee one thing. If you never risk it, you will never have it. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless. It means being brave enough to bet on your potential. It means trusting that you have what it takes to figure things out along the way. Too many people want a full roadmap before they move, but life doesn't work that way. Sometimes you have to leap first and build your wings on the way down. Risks aren't comfortable, but they are necessary. And here's the truth. Comfort zones feel good, but they don't grow you. You have got to be willing to trade short-term comfort for long-term growth. Fear will always try to talk you out of taking risks. Fear will say, what if you fail? What if people laugh? We issues. Had if you lose. But faith will say, what if it works? What if you succeed? What if your whole life changes? You have got to decide which voice you are going to listen to. And I promise you this, your breakthrough is always on the other side of fear. Every risk you take builds your courage. Every leap you take makes you stronger. Every move you make, even if it doesn't go as planned, teaches you something valuable that will carry you forward. Some of you are living lives that are too small for your potential, simply because you refuse to take a risk. You stay at the job you hate because it's safe. You stay in environments that don't feed you because it's secure. You play small because you are afraid of being uncomfortable. But the truth is, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. That dream you have, that vision inside you, it will demand risks. It will demand courage. It will demand that you step out when everything in you wants to sit still. And let's be real, risks don't always pay off immediately. Sometimes you leap and you fall. Sometimes you bet on yourself and you lose money, time, or energy. But that's not failure. That's tuition. That's the price of growth. That's the cost of learning. Every loss carries a lesson that sets you up for a future win. If you never lose, you never learn. If you never learn, you never grow. And if you never grow, you stay stuck. So even when a risk doesn't give you the result you wanted, it still pushes you closer to where you need to be. Taking risk on you is the ultimate investment. Nobody else will believe in you the way you can believe in yourself. Nobody else can see the vision the way you see it. Nobody else can carry the dream the way you can. If you are waiting on the world to validate you, you will be waiting forever. Take the risk. Bet on your gift. Bet on your potential. Bet on your future. Because if you don't, you will never know how far you could have gone. A lot of people struggle because they don't know how to say one simple word, no. They feel guilty. They feel like they owe everybody their time, their energy, their money, their presence, their attention. But let me tell you something. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are actually saying no to yourself. And that's why so many people are drained, burned out, and stuck in cycles that don't serve them. You have to understand that no is not a negative word. It's a word of protection. It's a word of respect. It's a word of boundaries. Think about how many times you have agreed to something just to keep someone else happy, even when you knew it would take you off your track. You went to that event you didn't want to go to, you loaned money you couldn't afford to give, and you took on extra work when you were already stretched thin, and later you resented it. That resentment wasn't toward them, it was toward yourself for not standing firm. Saying no isn't about being selfish. It's about being smart enough to protect your energy so you can pour it into the things that truly matter. You can't invest in yourself if you keep pouring into everybody else's agenda. Some people don't want you to succeed because your growth will expose their laziness, so they will keep trying to pull you into things that waste your time. If you don't learn to say no, you will be trapped living their life instead of building your own. And here's the truth. People who really love you and respect you will understand your no. They may not like it at first, but they will come to respect it. The only people who get mad when you set boundaries are the ones who benefited from you not having any. You have to remind yourself that every no to something meaningless is actually a yes to your purpose. When you say no to staying out late, wasting time, you are saying why? As to waking up early and chasing your goals. When you say no to unhealthy relationships, you are saying yes to peace and growth. When you say no to overspending, you are saying yes to building wealth. No isn't rejection, it's redirection. And if you want to change your life, you have got to master redirection. The problem is most people don't even practice saying no. It feels uncomfortable. It feels heavy. It feels confrontational. But you can train yourself. Start small. Say no to things that drain your schedule. Say no to negative conversations. Say no to people who only show up when they need something. Every time you do it, you will feel lighter, stronger, freer. That's the power of building the muscle of no. It's not about shutting the world out. It's about choosing where your yes really belongs. You will notice something powerful when you start saying no. Your life will begin to align. Opportunities that match your purpose will come into focus. People who respect your vision will step closer, and the ones who are only using you will start to fall away. Your energy will return, your clarity will sharpen, and your focus will grow. You will stop being everybody's backup plan and start being your own priority. That shift alone can change everything about how far you go. Because here's the truth, your yes has value. Your time, your energy, your effort, they are not cheap. Stop giving discounts on your life. Not everybody deserves your yes. Not everybody deserves your presence. Not everybody deserves access to you. And the moment you learn that, you will stop being drained and start being fulfilled. Saying no isn't closing the door on life. It's opening the right doors that lead to your growth, your peace, and your destiny. Too many people treat money like it's a status symbol instead of a tool, and that mindset keeps them trapped. They spend it to impress people they don't even like, buy things they don't need, and chase lifestyles that leave them broke while trying to look rich. Money was never meant to be a trophy. It was meant to be a vehicle, a resource, a tool to build freedom, security, and opportunity. The moment you start seeing money as a prize instead of a tool, you start using it the way it was meant to be used. Money doesn't create value, it multiplies it. The way most people think is backwards. They chase money thinking it will fix all their problems, make them happy, or earn respect. But money is only as powerful as the decisions you make with it. You can have millions and still be broken spirit, broken relationships, and broken purpose. Or you can have little and still be rich in freedom, growth, and potential if you know how to use it wisely. Investing in yourself and in tools that help you grow is far smarter than buying things to show off. Courses, books, mentorship, skills, and experiences. All of these are ways to use money to build more value in your life. Every dollar you invest in your growth returns tenfold if used strategically. Spending to impress others might feel good for a second, but investing in yourself pays interest for the rest of your life. The truth is, the world doesn't care about how much money you flash. It cares about the impact you create and the results you produce. Money is simply the instrument that allows you to turn vision into action. If you view it as a trophy, you will get addicted to showing it off, chasing it endlessly, and living in a cycle that never leads to fulfillment. But if you see it as a tool, you will use it to fund your goals, solve problems, and build the life you truly want. Wealth without purpose is just a number in the bank. Real wealth comes when money works for you and your vision. Stop buying things just to prove something to somebody else and start buying freedom, knowledge, and experiences that elevate your life. When you do that, money stops being the goal and becomes the means to the goal. That's when you stop being enslaved by it and start being empowered by it. Some people never grow rich because they keep trying to win the approval of others through money. They chase brands, flashy cars, and social validation. But no trophy is worth sacrificing your future. Money should never be about ego. It should always be about leverage. Leverage to learn, leverage to grow, leverage to help, leverage to create opportunities for yourself and for others. That is how money transforms from a distraction into a weapon for success. The smartest people don't hoard it and they don't waste it. They treat it as a tool that can build empires, fund dreams, and create freedom. They understand that money is not a measure of who they are. It's a resource they can use to become who they were meant to be. And once you see money this way, you stop chasing it for validation and start chasing it for value, which ultimately changes everything about the life you are building. The truth about growth is that it never happens in comfort. Comfort is where dreams go to die. If you are waiting for everything to feel easy, safe, and perfect before you take action, you will be waiting your whole life. Real progress, real change, and real success come when you step into discomfort and learn how to thrive there. Being uncomfortable is not the enemy. It's the signal that you are on the right path. Every successful person you admire has spent countless hours in uncomfortable situations. They have faced fear, rejection, and uncertainty, but they kept moving forward anyway. Growth only happens when you stretch beyond your limits. Comfort zones feel good, but they are deadly. They lull you into mediocrity, keep your potential trapped, and prevent you from discovering what you are really capable of. Discomfort is where character is built. When life pushes you, challenges test you, and obstacles block you, that's where you learn who you are. That's where you discover patience, persistence, and resilience. The fire of discomfort tempers you, strengthens you, and equips you to handle the next level of life. If you want to be extraordinary, you must learn to dance in the fire instead of running from it. Sometimes being uncomfortable looks like saying no to friends who don't support your dreams. Sometimes it's walking away from a job, relationship, or a habit that's familiar but not serving you. Sometimes it's having tough conversations, putting yourself out there, or risking embarrassment. Every time you face discomfort head on, you grow stronger and closer to the life you are meant to live. Fear loves comfort, but faith thrives in discomfort. When you are scared, it's a signal that you are about to level up. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But since it's not, the uncomfortable moments separate the average from the exceptional. Embrace the unease. It's proof you are moving forward. If it feels uncomfortable, that's a sign you are on the path to something greater. Being uncomfortable doesn't mean reckless behavior or ignoring wisdom. It means courage. Courage to step into the unknown, courage to push beyond your limits, and courage to take action when the world tells you to wait. Every uncomfortable step you take compounds into confidence, skills, and opportunities that can't be earned in comfort. The more you practice being uncomfortable, the more your life expands. You will start seeking challenges instead of avoiding them. You will start thriving where others quit. You will start seeing fear and uncertainty as signs that you are moving toward growth, not danger. And once you embrace this mindset, life no longer feels like something that happens to you. It becomes something you actively shape and conquer. Confidence is not something you are born with. It's something you build day by day through action and practice. Too many people wait for life to give them confidence, thinking that once they succeed, once they are recognized, once someone validates them, they will finally feel worthy. But confidence doesn't come from the outside. It comes from proving to yourself consistently that you can handle what life throws at you. Every small win matters. Every time you take action when you are scared, every time you speak up when you'd rather stay quiet, every time you finish what you start, you are building confidence. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to show up even when you feel unprepared, because the more you show up, the more you trust yourself. Stop looking for shortcuts to confidence. Nobody is going to hand it to you. You can't fake it long term. The only way to grow it is through repetition, through proving over and over that you can rise to challenges. Start with small commitments and honor them. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you are reinforcing the belief that you are capable, competent, and reliable. Confidence grows when you surround yourself with the right influences. People who encourage, challenge, and inspire you will elevate your self-belief. Toxic relationships, negative environments, and constant criticism erode it. Be intentional with who and what you allow into your space, because they directly impact how you feel about yourself. Your energy and your confidence are contagious. They rise or fall depending on your proximity to them. Affirmations and self-talk are tools, not solutions. Saying, I am confident without action is empty. But saying it and then stepping into situations where you are uncomfortable reinforces the truth behind the words. Confidence comes from repeated exposure to challenges, from proving to yourself that you can succeed despite fear, doubt, or uncertainty. Action is the secret sauce of belief. Set up routines that reinforce your values. Take care of your body, your appearance, your knowledge, and your skills. When you invest in yourself daily, you naturally walk with a sense of self-assurance. Confidence is built when your actions match the image you want to project. It's not arrogance. It's alignment between who you are and who you are becoming. The key is consistency. Confidence doesn't grow overnight, but if you commit to showing up for yourself every day, even in small ways, it compounds into something unstoppable. You will start to trust yourself more, rely on your judgment more, and take on bigger challenges with courage. Daily habits, daily wins, and daily self-belief are what build a life where confidence is not an option, it's a lifestyle. Consistency is the hidden superpower that separates those who succeed from those who quit. The problem is consistency gets boring. The excitement fades, the newness wears off, and the results seem slow. Most people give up right when the breakthrough is about to happen simply because a process feels tedious. But here's the truth. Success is never flashy in the beginning. It's built in the quiet, repetitive work you do when nobody is watching. When it gets boring, that's the exact moment to push harder. That's when you are building endurance, discipline, and resilience. The human brain craves novelty, but growth craves repetition. Every action you take consistently compounds over time, whether you feel like it or not. The small, repetitive choices you make when it's uncomfortable are what eventually create monumental change. Most people quit because they are chasing excitement instead of results. They want the feeling of progress without the effort, the thrill of success without the grind. But life doesn't work that way. The reality is, if you want something bigger, you have got to do the work even when it's monotonous, even when it feels tedious, even when nobody notices. That's the test that separates winners from quitters. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Every day you show up for your goals, even when you don't feel like it, you reinforce the belief that you can handle what you set out to do. That self-trust becomes the foundation for confidence, for persistence, and for resilience. Skipping days when it's hard might feel good at the moment, but over time, it erodes your results and your faith in yourself. The magic happens in the unseen work. Nobody posts about the early mornings, the late nights, the repetitive practice, or the mundane task. Yet these are the moments that form the backbone of every success story. While others get distracted by instant gratification, you have the power to build something that lasts by simply showing up day after day when it's boring. You will find that the boring moments eventually lead to momentum. Once your discipline compounds, once your skills multiply, and once your habits solidify, the process becomes easier and more rewarding. But none of that happens without enduring the boring, the repetitive, and the uncomfortable. The journey may feel slow, but it's moving you toward results that will change your life. Staying consistent is more than just persistence. It's faith in the process. Faith that every small action matters, every day counts, and every boring step is setting up a breakthrough. It's commitment to a vision bigger than temporary feelings, bigger than immediate gratification, and bigger than comfort. The people who rise above the rest are the ones who don't quit when it's boring. They keep moving and eventually they win. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it will keep you stuck if you let it. Too many people look at someone else's success and measure themselves against it, forgetting that everyone's journey is different. Social media, conversations, even family and friends can feed this trap. But the only person you should be racing is the person you were yesterday. Competing with yourself is the key to real growth and fulfillment. When you compare, you focus on what you lack. When you compete with yourself, you focus on what you can gain. Every step forward, every small win, every improvement is progress. Forget what anyone else is doing and track your own growth. Celebrate the moments when you accomplish something you couldn't do last month, last week, or yesterday. That is where the power lies. The problem with comparison is that it's misleading. You only see the highlight reel of others' lives, not the struggles, the failures, and the sacrifices behind the scenes. You don't see the 4 a.m. mornings, the mistakes, or the long hours that got them to where they are. Competing with why? Our self removes that illusion because your focus is internal. Your goal is to be better than you were, not better than them. Competing with yourself also creates resilience. Every time you push a little further than you did before, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. That mindset becomes unstoppable because it isn't dependent on someone else's success or failure. It's rooted in self-improvement, self-mastery, and self-accountability, and that's a foundation nobody can shake. Another benefit is that it builds confidence without arrogance. When you compete with yourself, you measure progress honestly. You learn to recognize your achievements without needing validation from the outside. That self-confidence is sustainable because it's earned, not borrowed from applause, likes, or praise. It becomes your inner engine that drives you forward regardless of external circumstances. Comparison also breeds distraction, jealousy, and resentment. Competing with yourself breeds focus, gratitude, and determination. When your eyes are on your own lane, you move faster, smarter, and more intentionally. You stop worrying about what others are doing and start controlling what you can. Your effort, your decisions, and your consistency. That's how winners think, act, and grow. Ultimately, the only person you need to outdo is the person you were yesterday. Your success is a reflection of your effort, your growth, and your commitment, not someone else's highlight reel. Every day is a chance to level up, to push further, to become stronger, and to prove that you are capable of more than you were yesterday. The race isn't against them, it's against yourself, and that is the race that matters most. The very first step to changing your life is believing that you are worth it. You cannot invest in yourself if you don't see your own value. Too many people undervalue their potential, their time, their talents, and their dreams. They wait for validation, for permission, or for a sign from the world, not realizing that the only permission they need is their own. Believing in your worth is the foundation of every other investment you make in yourself. When you truly believe you are worth it, you start making decisions that honor that belief. You stop settling for less than you deserve in relationships and jobs and in opportunities. You start investing in education, skills, and experiences that elevate your life. Every choice becomes intentional because you understand that your future is too valuable to waste on anything that doesn't contribute to your growth. Belief in your worth also protects you from distractions and negativity. People will always try to tell you what you can't do or why you are not enough. If you believe in your value, their words won't shake you. You won't waste energy pleasing everyone else or following paths that don't align with your purpose. You will stay focused, disciplined, and committed to building the life you are capable of living. Investing in yourself requires sacrifices, and belief in your worth gives you the courage to make them. You might have to spend time instead of partying, money instead of spending on things that don't matter, and energy instead of accommodating everyone else's demands. Every sacrifice is easier when you know the payoff is not just external, it's the transformation within yourself. You are not just spending, you are planting seeds for a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of you. Too often people fear investing in themselves because they think it's selfish or risky. But the truth is, nothing in life works unless you put yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't create, grow, or help others if you don't build yourself first. Believing in your worth makes investing in yourself not a luxury. It becomes a necessity. It becomes the standard by which you live. Every dollar, every hour, every effort you put into yourself multiplies when you believe in your value. Skills, knowledge, health, relationships, mindset, they all grow faster and stronger when fueled by belief. You stop questioning whether it's worth it because deep down, you know you are the investment that matters most. You are the asset that will pay dividends for the rest of your life. Believing you are worth the investment changes the way you live every day. It makes you bold. It makes you disciplined. It makes you persistent. It allows you to step into opportunities, embrace challenges, and build the life you have always dreamed about. Once you internalize that belief, everything else becomes possible. Because when you value yourself, the world has no choice but to follow suit.